Now, there is always a lot of discussion about mixing on these things, headphones. There are a lot of arguments against it, and there are also a lot of reasons why you should do it or should check your mixes on headphones. I am not sure. I've actually, maybe 10 years ago or something, mixed a track on headphones, but I've always used speakers since I've been doing this professionally, which is 9 years now or something, I think. So today I'm going to try to mix a track on headphones, and I want to bring across my own experience with mixing on headphones. So the headphone that I'm using is the HD650 by Sennheiser. I did a full review of it over here. This one is calibrated by Sonarworks, so it should give me the same frequency response as I have on my speakers, which are also calibrated by Sonarworks. So I want to stress out that the only sound source that I'm using during this whole mixing video is the HD650. I'm actually going to disconnect my speakers in order to plug in the headphone amplifier to mix this track. Now the track that I'm mixing is a dance track, is an electronic track, and it's made by a client of mine. His name is Adam Parx. I will link some details of him below in the description of this video. So Adam, if you're watching, thanks a lot for helping me out by sending this track. It's also a track that I haven't mixed before. So I really imported the stems and grouped them. And that's the point where this video starts. Alright, so the first thing that I want to do is import my calibration profile. Now this is a tailor-made calibration pattern for this piece of headphones. You can see the before over here. So normally I would hear the blue line, and now I would hear the pink line. Now I'm not using linear phase mode. You see, it would give me a way tighter low end and also less phase coloration. The thing is, I will get a lot of pre-ringing then. So I don't want to do that because it's music with a lot of low frequencies in it. Now this thing in my monitor chain, video aftak, it's a Dutch word, make sure that the audio that you guys are listening to on YouTube doesn't have the correction for the headphones on it. So it's the actual audio that will also be exported. You don't want to have the correction on something else than the headphones that they are made for, or the speakers that the correction is made for. I do recommend you listening to this video on, you know, good speakers or good headphones. So I want to do a quick run through the mix and through the track, so that, well, I also know, but you know, we all know what we're actually on about. So synthesize as well. I need to turn it down a bit. Right, so that's this one. Yeah. Piano, okay. Bass. Alright, we're going to do something freaky with the bass line, yeah. Ooh, that's an annoying. What's that sound? That's annoying. Nasty, okay. Alright. Alright, nice. Yeah. Alright. So there are also a lot of vocals in here, like really a lot. And if we listen to them dry, it's really horrible to listen to. Call it a rush or call it deja vu. This type of love is so a lot of work on the vocals. So yeah, I'm just going to mute the vocals right now because it will distract me a lot from mixing. Vocals are being done later, of course. I first want to have a tight instrumental. So where I want to start with this, I want to do the drop first, so this part. And the parts that I want to do from the drop for now are kick, bass and lead synth. Now let me check the bass. So this is a mono bass line. It's not fully mono, but we'll make it mono. This is This is also mono. So that's cool. Let me... Alright. And the stereo synthesizer. So I want to have those on 5 and 6. Lead synth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group these two synths together into one channel. Which is of course daring because you cannot change the balance afterwards. But in the end it also forces you to make choices. So 5 and 6. Alright. Then we have the bass. Now I'm going to keep the bass mono. But I will be receiving it 2 times. The first one will be the bass new and the other one will be the bass tape. I will do parallel processing with the tape machine. I think that I will send the sub bass to channel 4 and the main bass mid to channel 8. I think that's a good idea. Now same goes with the kick, you know, tape machine and yeah, that's correct. Now I want this one to go to Neumann 7 channel 7. Let's put everything in record input and let's do this. So I first want to start with the kick, which is on this channel. There it is. Let me get a bit more volume. Alright. So this is actually very difficult because I don't know what I'm hearing actually. Yeah. Ah. So my experience right now is that I don't get the pressure which I normally get on my chest. Because normally when I'm EQing kicks, I'm turning it up very loud. But it now just stays in my ears and I just get the pressure on my eardrum, but not fully on my chest. Like, that's very annoying. Let's... Oh, this is very difficult to... Yeah, this doesn't work. Oh, this is super difficult now. Now I really want to hear it on my speakers to make sure that I'm correct. Ah, there it is. Alright, since... Alright, so the next layer is just this one. So yeah, this is really... So the difficult thing here, the difficult thing here is that I did make a lot of hours listening on these headphones. I think I'm over 150 hours or something. You know, I did listen a lot of music on these, but still, I don't have a reference. Like, I don't know what I'm doing actually right now. It really feels like I'm blind, but then, you know, I'm deaf actually. Which is a very strange experience. You should try it yourself. And what I really want to do right now is check the mix on my Evantones. But yeah. Can't do that. Can't do that. So I literally have no idea what I'm doing. Literally, I'm completely in the dark. Which is interesting. So the biggest issue that I'm having right now is the leveling. Normally I would switch to my Evantones and it would be pretty clear how I am in terms of balance. But now I have no idea. Well, EQing is also a difficult thing. Like, this feels way better actually. This feels way better. Now I can lower these. So I thought that mixing Schlagermuziek was the most difficult thing I did this year, but right now I'm pretty sure that it is doing this project. Damn, what did I start? This is so difficult. Anyway, I like to move on because I like to make choices. So I don't like to sit around for a long time to decide on something. I like to make choices and then listen to it again on a later stadium, and then, you know, if I don't like the choice, do it again. So that's also how I'm going to work today. I'm not going to change the rest of my workflow just because I'm using headphones. So what you just saw me doing is routing everything to group 3 and 4. And I'm routing group 3 and 4 to master bus 3 and 4. And on the master bus there is a tape machine inserted on it. So I can now route the kick and the bass also through the tape machine, and I'm going to use those two in parallel. Now, downside of this is I can only listen right now to just the kick and the bass on the tape machine. I cannot listen to them together because we have a time difference, and I need to adjust for the time difference later in Reaper. I will show this to you. So right now we just need to calibrate the in and output volume so that I get the right amount of distortion, which I need. Now let's first do the kick. This is too much. I just need a bit. This is too much. Like that. Just a bit. Alright, and the bass. Like that. So it's not bad to have it a bit more exaggerated, because again, we are going to parallel process these things. Let me bounce this all back into Reaper and show you what I'm going to do next. Now, we have recorded everything back in Reaper. Now, let's first archive all the channels that we don't need anymore, like this. And then we're going to align the tape versions of the kick and the bass, which we need to do because the tape machine always gives a delay, because there's a distance between the write head and the read head. Now, what I always like to do when aligning this is I'm always doing this by hand. You know, the speed of the tape machine always varies a tiny bit, and you want to, you know, check if everything is correct and in phase. And what you can clearly do in Reaper in a group is you can see an overlay of the two channels. You will never ever get a perfect alignment, because as you can see, the waveforms are very different from each other. And actually right now it's pretty easy to get a good alignment. As you can see, I think we are pretty much aligned. On the bass line, same story. Now here's the thing, I've got my faders over here, so you have to watch the fader on the screen. What we can do is we can, of course you hear a bit of bass bleed, but we can blend a bit of tape into it. Same goes with the bass line. So this will make things a lot more analog. The real balance between these two I do decide it later on in the mix. Now remember what I was saying in the beginning when I was routing the synths. I'm not sure if I'm going to be happy with this balance. I think what I need to do is make sure that I can adjust it later on. There will be a lot more instruments added to it as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unarchive the two channels that I used for there. So I'm keeping all the routing the same, but the only thing that I'm doing is I'm going to switch on the console. Switch the second lead, so the like the melody line, and you've got the chords in the melody line, and I'm going to switch the melody line over to subgroup 7 and 8 because they are not used, and then record it again, so that I do have them separated in the box. I think that's a better practice to do. So let me do this pretty quickly right now. I'm not a fan of preparing to change things later on, but I really think that the headphones don't give me the right feedback in terms of balance. By the way, there's a drummer in the background. I don't think that I've closed all doors because I'm wearing headphones. That's the positive thing about wearing headphones. You don't need a very good sound isolation. I hope it's not annoying on the YouTube video. I don't think the sound that is coming out of this mix is wrong or will be bad. I think it would still be a sound, and it would still be you know, enjoyable. The only thing that I'm worried about is how it translates. So normally when I mix on speakers, I also know how Granny at home would hear it and would listen to it and would experience it. And what I really feel on mixing on headphones is that, or well, on these, is that I make decisions, but I don't know how they will pack out in the real world, which is kind of a strange experience. These decisions are also on the EQ level, and that's very strange because the headphones should give me the exact same EQing curve as my speakers should give me, because they are both Sonarworks calibrated and they both run you know, the flat calibration on 0 latency setting. So I think there's more to it than just a EQ calibration that you need to get to match the sound of a speaker. For instance, the mid and highs from my speakers are very, if you can call it penetrating, they are pretty clear and direct, while on these they are very smooth. So maybe there is the same amount of mid and high from a scientific point of view. It feels like this one is a bit duller, like less highs. Now the bounce is done, and now let's see what I want to move on with. I think that I want to focus on the drop first, and I think that would mean you know, percussion. Let's see what percussion we have on the drop. Alright. So these three are playing the same pattern. We have a hi-hat, a ride, and a hi-hat. Alright. So I like to keep these in the same balance and just put them on one stereo channel on the console. I just do a bit of EQing on it. So I think I'm going to use channel 3 and 4 for that. So let's say drop percussion new. And let's use the subgroup 1 and 2. Let's go to 3 and 4. Alright. Yeah, we need to route that. Alright. 1 and 2. And we are going to put the hi-hat and the ride on. Let me check this. What the heck is that ride doing? It's not a drummer that is going like this. Interesting. Now let's put the ride and the hi-hat on separated channels, and let's also grab them back separately. I want to have the hi-hat on subgroup 3, and I want to keep the hi-hat mono, because I'm going to use the LTEC compressor on it, and the LTEC is a mono. Alright. Now let's mix some percussion into here. Alright, so let's start with this, that thing. I like to have a bit more highs in there, so around 10k. Like that. And also a bit more punching to the mix. Like that. So I might add a reverb to this later, but not right now. Now there's my hi-hats going through the good old LTEC, which changes the sound color a lot of it. But I really like that old school sound color. It really works like glue in a mix. I don't like the word glue, but yeah. Makes it a bit trashy. Like that. Now let's move on with the strange ride. Now let's cut some highs, make it also a bit like that. Yeah, like that. Like that, yeah, like that. Yeah, cool. No. Yeah. I think this actually pretty good already. Before I'm going to bounce it back into Reaper, I want to check something because I have another hi-hat over here, which I want to give the same treatment as well. So let's work efficient and route this one also to channel 7. So we have, yeah, like that, because I think it's actually the same hi-hat. It's the same, okay, so the same channel. Let's do that efficiently. So I also noticed a shaker on the drop, which I missed, but shakers, yeah, I think it does need a yeah. I don't like that. Needs a bit of this, yeah. Just leave it like that. Now let's bounce this as well. So the next part that I want to do right now is like what I call the break part. So the melodies and the breaks, which is this group of stuff. So we have a intro, like the swelling synthesizer. We've got the piano. And the fill chords. Which are super annoying. Can we just holy crap, eh? What is... This is not nice. This is not very nice. Oh, this is annoying sound. And of course I can ask the Adam right now to fix this, which would be the best, but I don't have that time. Yeah, we have to do it like this. Good enough, I think. Yeah, we just have to work around that. So this is in the second break, and we also have the... Okay, let's first do the first break, and then do the second break on the console. I think that will give us way more headspace to... Okay, so I want to have the first, yeah, I want to keep these separated. I do prefer having things separated because I'm on headphones, which is actually kind of strange. Should make a difference, right? Let's route the intro, yeah, let's route that one to 7 and 8. And I want this one to 9 and 10, and I want this one to 11 and 12, 5 and 6, 3 and 4, 1 and 2. Oh, whoa, wait, 1 and 2. All right. Okay, to the intro. Now it's very important with this intro to have some definition in there. But keep it dark, maybe even use the low pass filters. No, maybe. Come on, maybe. Yeah, it removes a bit of the noise, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Now, let's also add a bit of warmth in there, so that we are really, you know, being greeted by a warm sound. Alright. Now, let's add the piano to it. Yeah, this is beautiful, this is cool. Piano. There it is. Now we can have some highs on the piano now. So this will fresh the thing up a bit more. I do have to say, these melody things, I think they are easier to mix on the headphones. Same goes with percussion, but kick and bass and stuff, and you know, really like the bass is the foundation of the track. It's really difficult to get right on headphones. Let's make sure that we also find some definition in that piano. Let's make it a bit lighter. Now I think I will add some verb to both in like the last part of the mix. But I'm going to do digital reverbs, because that gives a better overview for you guys, because I don't have a camera at my analog reverbs, and that will become very like, yeah. So let's move on to the last part, where that last annoying synthesizer comes in. Like, it almost sounds like there's power supply noise on that synthesizer, so we want to work around that. Not sure if I can. Now what I'm going to do, of course, is ask Adam for a new stem. But for now we have to make the setting and you know, the sound coloring with this. Because I actually want to have this, but we can't do that. It's super annoying. So maybe make the. We can also do this. So we have like this, yeah. So let's check the whole production. Because there's also percussion coming in, and I want to have it leveled together with the drop so that we don't have a volume, like too big of a volume difference. So that's another thing that I'm going to be focused on. Also the way the piano comes in, isn't there a... Let me check the stems. Don't we have like a reversed... Yeah, there are some sweeps around that, so I think I don't need to worry about that right now. No. Cool. Maybe I can get away with how this stem is right now. Okay, so we do have a big collapse right now, which is going to be an issue. Yeah. So I think we are a bit too loud on the brake. Let's drag that brake down first. Second of all, I think that the synthesizers in the drop are not full enough to you know, connect with this part. So, but first let's turn down the volume, because there is a volume difference between these two. And let me also, and I'm doing this off camera, increase the volume a bit of those chords in the drop. Now I want a bit more piano, because, and remember we have vocals on top of this, and the vocals are leading, so none of this is actually leading. This is all the bed in which the vocals are going to be laid. Like this. Still, if I listen to the drop on my headphones, still not convinced that it's actually any good, but yeah. Now, and I'm also doing this off camera, let me write this one back into Reaper and then continue with the second break, the two stems in the second break. Let's also mix those in as well. So let's first do yeah. So I recorded the first part back into Reaper, the first break, and I want to directly do the second part. Let me show you, because it's actually in the music. So it's actually going from the drop to, you know, it's overlapping. So listen to this. So that's the sound that's on here, that one, and we also have like a nice blippy plucky thingy. But let's first do this one, because it comes out of the drop. We want a bit more high in here. Let's do this again. Yeah, like that, but we want to have this like overlap in a way that, yeah, it has to be this, because otherwise it won't overlap, as you can hear. Now it blends. Maybe like this, and now blippy thing is very important. We need to have yeah, and this will also get a bit of reverb, a bit. But like this. Now it really sounds overlapping in my headphones. Alright, and that concludes day 1 of the mixing session. So I do have the instrumental EQ'd and done analog. This is not a comfortable position to be in. Maybe this is a bit more, still not comfortable. Now, what I'm going to do later today is start with the vocal processing, the Melodyne and stuff. I don't show this on camera because it's not very interesting. I think it's not very interesting. If you want to know more about Melodyne, I will link a video over here. Tomorrow, but that will be due to the magic of video editing, like in the next scene, I'm going to do the vocals and I'm going to finish the instrumental. I always like that there is one day in between that, because I can listen to it again with fresh ears and then I directly know what is wrong and what is right. So, yeah. For me, this will be 24 hours. For you, this will be a finger snap. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yesterday I did compile the vocals. I actually got the raw recording takes from Adam, which I didn't actually expect. So I also did a bit of a vocal producing actually. But before we get into the vocals, let's first listen to the instrumental and let's see what I think of it, and you know, directly tweak everything that I think is wrong. So that's cool. Oh, that crash sounds like shit. This thing. Oh, nasty. Don't know what to do with it yet, but I don't like that break piano that's hanging on the right. How did I miss that? How did I? Oh. Something really weird going on the left channel. Alright, so we are going to reprocess that break piano in a bit. I also really want to add the reverb to those chords. So let me also do that right now, like directly, like no jokes. Why? Why is everything to the right side? Now this looks very awkward because you would almost think that I wouldn't be able to calibrate my own console, which I'm using for more than 5 years now. I think George has turned up his amplifier. I think he did. And if he turns up an amplifier, it's pretty daring loud. I do have to say that when I was calibrating the console yesterday, I mean, all the channels are mono faders, so I need to calibrate my left and my right signal together. It was very difficult to do in the headphones, because what I normally do is I actually go to look for the center image. But you don't have like a center image on your headphones as you have on speakers. It's like really small. It's like, you know, this is all the room you have. So it's very difficult to balance your left and right signal. I didn't expect that actually, because it was, you know... Yeah, the brake piano needs to be reprocessed. Really needs to be reprocessed. Yeah. Well, before we go into the reprocessing of the piano and stuff, let's first look into the vocals. I think I will do that reprocessing of the piano off camera, because otherwise the video will get really long. I already think that we have like 1 hour or something, which would be the longest video I've ever made. I did compile the vocals myself, as you can see. These aren't even all the vocal channels I had. So I have a lead vocal on the top. This will be my center lead vocal. This is really important. And I'm thickening it a bit with 2 unisono, you know, like backing vocals. So actually vocal doubling to get a bit of stereo width.
It's like I've been here before, but call it a rush or call it deja vu. This type of love is a disaster. Adrenaline rushing through my veins for you, but I need it. Yeah, I need the feels you give me. Yeah, I need it.
And then we are going into the hook.
I can't see clearly. Sipping on you like some sweet gin and juice, knowing I'ma feel it in the end. Chasing it down with the sweet words, it sounds so good. Don't know how I'ma quit. I get down.
Now, I'm not sure about this part. It's maybe a bit too messy, but we need to check that in the mix. Like that. So it's of course it's way too loud and completely out of balance, but this is what I edited from it. Now we need to anticipate on this moment later with the effects. So when we go into the hook over here, we want to create a whole different sphere, but that's for later. Now again, I don't know, I'm not sure. I get down, down. I need to think of a way to fit this in. Yeah, I think leveling. It's most for leveling. Now, yeah. Now, there's a lot that could be said about how this is recorded. I would record it way differently, I would coach way differently, but then again, that's out of my control. So we can talk about it, we can comment about it, but that's not going to change the situation. So I'm going to show you how I would process this and how I would make this into a record. Again, I've just made it in a way that I think was cool from the material I had. I always need to see how it works out when it's actually in the mix, and I might change some things later on. Let me quickly do the piano processing and then get back to you on the console. I actually found the problem with the piano. It was on this channel, and the connector behind this EQ was actually rusting a bit. I do have this a bit more often when it's very humid, like a high level of water in the air, I think. I don't know what I'm talking about. So that connector wasn't really sitting tight, and when I was, wiggling with it, it started working again. So that was the reason why I couldn't balance. I don't think it was because of the headphones. Moving on to the vocal, I want to start with the lead vocal, which is on this EQ, and I do have the stem audio inserted on it. Now the setting on the stem audio is the fastest attack and the fastest release time. It's on a ratio of 4, and I can control the amount of compression with my fader. So I can just do it from here, and you can see it just on the bottom of the shot. So this is my output gain, this is my input gain going into the compressor. So if I want more compression, I push it up. If I want less, I push it down, and I give it some more makeup gain. You can call it makeup gain. What I want to do with this lead vocal is actually put a lot of compression on it, because she isn't really stable in terms of dynamics. It's good for the drama, but it's not good if you want to have it in a full mix full of synthesizers. So I want to do that, and I also want to search in the EQ for more definition. Now one of the things that you will notice is it almost sounds like MP3, which is strange because it's a WAV file, but I don't know what happened with the recording of this. I really don't know. But then again, we need to work around that. Well, we at least have some.
Feels like I've been here before, boy. Call it a rush, I call it deja vu. But this type of love is a disaster. Adrenaline rushing through my veins for you. But I need it. Yeah, I need the feels you give me. Yeah, I need it until I can't see clearly. Sipping on you like some sweet gin and juice, knowing I'ma feel it in the end. Chasing it down with the sweet words, they sound so good. Don't know how I'ma quit. I get down for you, down for you, down for you. I get down, baby.
Now let's also enable the high pass filter, just to be sure. Now the thing is, this vocal in solo is really, you don't want to have it in solo. First of all, I want to add reverb to it, so I'm going to do that using the aux, and I'm routing the return of reverb directly into Reaper again, and I'm recording the wet reverb. Wait, let me try to show this. Going to use the PCM60, which is this reverb, and let me turn it on. And I'm going to use it on the only setting that I like on vocals, and that's this setting. So room, large, levels, no EQ. There are two ways that I can control the reverb. I can, send it from this aux and from this aux, of course. Now what's the difference between these two? Well, this one is pre-compression and this is post-compression. I always like to make a mix between those two, so that the reverb gets a bit heavier as soon as the vocalist sings louder, but not too much. So a bit of this and a bit of this. And now we can control the dynamics of the reverb pretty well.
Feels like I've been here before, boy. Call it a rush, I call it deja vu. But this type of love is a disaster. Adrenaline rushing through my veins for you. But I need it. Yeah, I need the feels you give me. Yeah, I need it until I can't see clearly. Sipping on you like some sweet gin and juice, knowing I'ma feel it in the end. Chasing it down with the sweet words, they sound so good. Don't know how I'ma quit.
Of course, I would also use automation on the output signal of the reverb to put it a bit down in the second part and a bit up in the first part. But for a basis, I think this is it. Let's continue with all the unisono vocals on these two channels, so stereo. So I'm grouping those vocals on one stereo track and treating them that way.
Yeah, I need the feels you give me. Yeah, I need it until I can't see clearly. Sipping on you like some sweet gin and juice, knowing I'ma feel it in the end. Chasing it down with the sweet words that sound so good. Don't know how I'm afraid. I get down, down to you, down to you. I get down, baby. It feels like I've been here before, but call it a rush, I call it deja vu. But this type of love is a disaster. Adrenaline rushing through my veins for you, but I need it. Yeah, I need the feels you give me. Yeah, I need it.
It's very difficult to level.
Can't see clearly. Sipping on you like some sweet gin and juice, knowing I'ma feel it in the end. Chasing it down with the sweet words, they sound so good. Don't know how I'ma quit. I get down.
Very difficult to level these. What I'm going to do, I'm going to, and I will show this in the edit. I am going to add a compressor.
Feels like I've been here before, but
The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unlink the stereo setting. I think this was, yeah, this one. So that we have two independent channels, because it's actually independent on left and right, what it needs to do. And I want to do a bit of compression, so low ratio.
feels like I've been here before, but call it a rush, I call it deja vu.
The reason that I don't want to do that much of compression is because if I compress this really tightly, then I'll take away the feel. I actually want, if I can show this with my hands, I actually want the vocals, the backing vocals, to come up and down to accentuate a few words and some words not. And I want to keep that human feel of that accentuation of it.
Feels like I've been here before, but call it a rush, I call it deja vu. But this type of love is a disaster. Adrenaline
Like that.
rushing through my veins for you, but I need it. Yeah, I need the feels you give me. Yeah, I need it until I can't see clearly. Sipping on you like some sweet gin and juice, knowing I'ma feel it in the air.
I actually really like it.
Chasing it down with the sweet words, they sound so good.
Now,
Don't know how
no, I want to change one thing.
I get down.
I want to remove the highs. I will get annoyed by the S's and stuff, and I don't want to remove them. I think this is better, yeah. Let me print this back to Reaper. I actually want to use these and these on the vocal choirs. So let me print this first, and then we have a clean console again. Now, the console is clean again. Let me get the settings back to 0. Alright, so the low harmonies are on these EQs and these, or this channel, and the harmonies that go like in between, like you will notice it quickly, are on these channels. So let's press play and let's blend these two in as well.
Sipping on you like some sweet gin and juice, knowing I'ma feel it in the air.
Let's start with these.
Chasing it down with the sweet words, they sound so good. Don't know how I'ma quit. I get down for you, down for you, down for you. I get down, down.
Now I actually, from those low vocals, I really want to give them, you know, have the warmth from them, but not too much. And like that, maybe a bit lower, yeah. And from the other one, so these are the other ones. I want to remove the 1 kHz section a bit first to try out. Like this, and then lower it in volume. Like that. Like that. Yeah. Cool. Now let's bounce this also back into Reaper, and then I'm going to start with the details, automation and everything inside of Reaper. So let me change the camera position again for the 10th time or something, and yeah, continue over there. Right now it's you know, making sure that everything connects together and everything sounds good on my headphones. I'm not going to master this track. That's actually going to happen in a very special video next week, if I can make it in that time. Otherwise it will be a bit later. But this track will come back in another video about mastering. Let's listen to the track and let's do some leveling, automation and stuff. Just watch with me on my screen and try to explain what I want to do, but maybe it doesn't come across. So first a bit of editing.
Adrenaline rushing through my veins for you, but I need it. Yeah, I need the feels you give me. Yeah, I need it until I can't see clearly. Sipping on you like.
So let's edit it over here so that I can, you know, drop it a bit here.
It feels like I've been here before, but call it a rush, I call it deja vu. But this type of love is so.
And let's.
Till I can't see clearly. Sipping on you like some sweet gin and juice, knowing I'ma feel it in the air. Falling over my head, body hot crazy floating in the air.
Same goes over here.
The satisfaction, however I get it, baby, I don't care.
There's one thing that's very difficult to do in headphones, and that's balancing. I don't know if the vocals are correct. I want to check that on my Evan tones. Can't do that. I'm only wearing headphones for this video. So let's turn down the vocals a bit, like. I don't know. I don't know. Something like this. I don't know. Ah.
You give me, yeah, I need it until I can't see clearly. Sipping on you like some sweet gin and juice, knowing I'ma feel it in the air. Chasing it down with the sweet words, they sound so good. Don't know how I'ma quit. I get down for you, down for you, down.
Let me. I also want to tinker a bit with the lead synth. like that. Oh, leveling is really difficult.
Lord knows that I've been over my head. Body hot, crazy, floating in the air. Giving me hope and satisfaction. However I get it, baby, I don't care. I just want it. I just want the things you give me. And I'll be on it until my cup ain't empty. Spit on you like some sweet gin and juice, knowing I'ma feel it in the end. Chasing it down with these sweet words, they sound so good. Don't know how I'ma quit. I get down for you, down for you, down
It's-
for you. I get down, baby.
Alright, I'm not sure if I will ever get this in balance. Like, almost feels like balancing is impossible on these headphones. Now, what I also want to do is add the sound effects, so the risers and stuff, so that everything gets more connected. I tried to do this in like the last stage, because it forces you to work harder towards like climaxes and breaks, and you know, to get the feel in the music correct, and then use those extra things as like extra details, and not the other way around. Because if you pump up the sound effects a lot, the connections in the music are actually pretty easy to make, and most of the times you can make it way better.
Lord knows that I've been over my head. Body hot, crazy, floating in the air. Giving me hope and satisfaction. However I get it, baby, I don't care. I just want it. I just want the things you give me. And I'll be on it until my cup ain't empty. Spit on you like some sweet gin and juice, knowing I'ma feel
Cool, that sub drop is exactly what I need over there.
ain't empty. Spit on you like some sweet gin and juice, knowing I'ma feel it in the end.
And now I actually need a bit more of this synthesizer, so let's turn it up over here. Like this, because otherwise the energy will really drop down.
And I'll be on it until my cup ain't empty. Spit on you like some sweet gin and juice,
beautiful.
knowing I'ma feel it in the end. Chasing it down with these sweet words, they sound so good. Don't know how I'ma quit.
And maybe also a bit of more
I get
piano over here.
down for you, down for you, down for you. I get down, baby. Baby, when I'm with you, get down. Oh, baby, when you love me, I get down. Oh, baby, when I feel you, I get down. Feel you, I get down. For your love, I get down. For your love, I get down, 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 down. Oh, said I'm down, 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 down. Oh,
Also check these toms over here. Ha! Let's turn those up. That's too loud. That's too loud. Shitty. Yeah. Oh, I just don't know. I just don't know. Maybe you guys are laughing right now because you think it's a horrible mix. Maybe you guys think that that I can mix. I don't know. You know, I always get to the point where I don't know if a mix is good. But I am realistic enough to know that at least what I'm hearing is what I've made and that it translates well. But right now, I don't actually know where it translates to. So it's not my creative choices that I'm confused with. I am really confused with what I'm hearing and my anticipation on what I'm hearing. But the only way for me, like the key is into using the small even tones, and you know, I will get everything in balance in like a few minutes, and I can maybe fix even other problems as well. So what I think I'm going to do right now is conclusion time and listen on the speakers. Now, this maybe doesn't sound like that big of a deal for you guys because you've heard the track already 100,000 times. And I hope that you heard it on you know, good speakers. I didn't. I did hear it on headphones, and I really, even though that I used the headphones a lot already, had no idea of what I'm doing. So, let's listen to it and let me comment on it while it's playing. Oh, there was one detail I missed.
Feels like I've been here before, but call it a rush, I call it deja vu. This type of love is a disaster. Adrenaline rushing through my veins for you, but I need it. Yeah, I need the things you give me. Yeah, I need it until I can't see clearly. Sipping on you like some sweet gin and juice, knowing I'ma feel it in the air. Chasing it down with this sweet whiskey sound so good, don't know how I'm winning. I get down.
That's interesting. Super interesting. Now, there are a lot of elements that I like actually in the mix, but in general, it doesn't glue together at all. Like, from the way that I'm hearing the vocals on the speakers, I would have made way different choices actually in terms of the production. For instance, I would leave out the doubling vocals in the verses and only put them in the chorus. I would also, the answers, like the backing vocals that are answering in the chorus, I would turn them up more. So I would make way different choices. That's interesting, because if I'm hearing it right now, I'm not agreeing with my own creative choices. Also, the sub bass line is way too loud. And that's weird, because that's actually one of the things that Sonarworks should compensate. But I think the main conclusion that we can draw is that, you know, aside from a small details, small artifacts that I would also maybe have done wrong the first time on the speakers, like the EQing, is actually, I'm pretty happy with that. Not fully satisfied, but I'm pretty happy with that. It's better than I was expecting in terms of EQing. But there are more things to it than just the EQing and just creating a flat frequency response, as Sonarworks is doing. And that's also what they are promising. They're promising a flat frequency response. And they're using marketing terms like getting the same experience as a sound engineer. But that in terms of frequency response you get, but in terms of the whole experience, you aren't getting that. Because there are way more things about it than just plain old frequency response. And the main thing that I was missing, and that's also the main complaint that I have on my own mix. By the way, a bit weird that I'm you know, criticizing my own mix. But the main thing that I have on my own mix is really balancing. And what I couldn't do on headphones, and what I also don't see a way to actually do it on headphones. Maybe there is a way, maybe someone will comment it below, if they made it until here in the video. What I couldn't do is, you know, check it on low volume on small speakers, like that technique, like using the Aventone on, you know, a low volume level and really listening tightly to the balances and balance it from there. That was the step that I couldn't do on headphones. I don't know how to do it. There's something very honest going on when you're listening to music like that. That's my experience from mixing on headphones. So I want to end this video over here, and I hope that you made it till the end. I know this was a long video, but I really wanted to show you the whole process of, you know, me mixing on headphones and show you the frustrations and the benefits and all that kind of stuff. So I really want to thank Sonarworks for sending me the headphones with the individual calibration file. It's really appreciated. They didn't sponsor this video, by the way. They actually didn't ask me to make a video about the headphones, but I thought, why not? So with that being cleared, I want to end this video over here. If you liked it, let me know with a thumbs up. Now, this video took a long time to make, and I really want to make more videos on giving you insight in how to mix a track. And I need two things for that. The first thing is I need tracks to mix on this. So if you have a track laying around that you want to have me mix in a video, I will link below to my mix fix submission page where you can submit your track to maybe get into a new video of the mix fix. And the second thing I need is time. When I want to film my mixes, it takes 4 times the amount of time that it normally takes to mix a track. So I really need a bit of financial support for that, and you guys can give me that financial support using Patreon. So I will link Patreon over here. Other ways to support me is by keep on watching. You can do it by subscribing below, or making it even easier, watch more of my videos. Thanks a lot for watching this one, and I will see you guys again in the next video. Bye bye!